What's going on, everyone? It's time for another horror film review. Today we're going to talk about a horror slasher film called Terrifier. It was released October 15th, 2016, and it was directed by Damien Leone, who also did All Hallows Eve and All Hallows Eve 2. He would go on to do Terrifier 2, uh, The Ninth Circle, and Frankenstein versus the Mummy, to name a few. This had a budget of $100,000, and this is a interesting slasher film. So there's some two young girls, like in their 20s or some 30s, are coming back from a Halloween party, and they're a little drunk and they can't drive. And then they go to a diner where they end up crossing paths with this creepy clown sitting at the diner with a random bag of stuff. And yeah, it makes weird gestures at her and stuff like that. And yeah, so they mock him and stuff like that, and yeah, and then they go. But then they learn of a killing. You hear on the radio of a killings at a diner that they were at by this clown guy that they seen, and yeah, you see that anyways happens in the film, and so what? But the car won't start and stuff. So they called the girl's sister for a ride, and as they're waiting, one of the girls has to go to the bathroom, but she ends up getting uh followed by this killer clown and ends up being the clown's lair where he causes a lot of pain and suffering in this apartment complex where she ends up entering. And then so yeah, you see the clown will go terrify um, the residents in this one and go on a killing spree. This film is pretty bloody and gory and dark. They do have some fun little jump scares in it too to make it a little more interesting. Most of the characters are throwaway characters, and you can tell that right off the bat, but it's still a lot of fun. Yeah, there's not much to a story wise for this film. This one is mainly made to be a gross out, um, dark, disturbing, mutilate human type of film. Yeah, there's some pretty interesting, funny kills, and the way the person who plays Art does like his mannerisms and the way because he doesn't talk, so he pretty much mimes stuff, things like that, and it's done so well, and just the way the clown looks and stuff is dark and gross and weird looking, and it's done pretty well too, and I like that. And like the gore and stuff makes it looks all really good, and the cinematography is dark and grainy and stuff, and the acting's not too bad for this low budget slasher horror film. And it's getting quite the cult following, and yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. Despite it having like no story pretty much, and it's all about people getting killed and that, and they don't really dive into the killer's backstory yet or anything, and which is good because he's more of an entity than like a human, and so sort of like Freddy Krueger and stuff in that sort of sense, and yeah, it makes it for an even more darker and gruesome watching viewing experience. So I really enjoyed this film. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty fun and good. It's good. It's a great slasher, modern take on it, and they do some new stuff. And even with like the $100,000, it goes to show you don't need a lot of money to make a good standalone like slasher or anything like that. Because this one's made for $100,000, and it's better than some of the $1 million films that come out to theaters. And yeah, and it's a lot of fun. It's based off of a short out of the All Hallows Eve film, and they really expanded upon it and did a great job at capturing and reinventing the slasher genre again. So I'm gonna give Terrifier a 4 out of 5. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out if you like slasher films, and even if you like dark, spooky sort of settings and killer clown movies, you'll probably enjoy this one too. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. There's a trailer link down below, like always. Also link down below is my Instagram, where I always post clips of films and review in the future on my stories. You have the film title hashtag and subgenre film and the hashtag, so you're aware of it. And make sure you check out my Letterbox. That's linked down below as well. That's where I always post clips of films. That's also where I post my first star rating after watching the films on there. So, yeah, follow me on all those two platforms. Stay with the channel, like this video, share some more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. And also, if you want me to do the sequel or the All Hallows Eve films and review those sooner than later, comment those down below too. I'll try to get them as soon as I can. And yeah, but that's it for this one. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe. So hopefully find something weird here and odd that you probably never thought of checking out together. Somewhat like this. Also, your popular films. My opinions on popular films coming out at the time, classic films, and reviews on other things. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell because I'm going to watch another weird horror film called The Tattooist next. So make sure you tune in for that as we continue watching and finding weird movies to check out this Halloween all the way to Halloween. So tune in for those, and yeah, but that's it for this one. Watch out for those killer crazy clown entities out there causing havoc, and I guess I'll see you all in the next one, and hopefully it's as good as this. So but until then, cheers.